within your kitchen. Yes, that's it. No.
Seymour, the house is on fire!
No, Mother, it's just the northern lights. Well, Seymour, you are an odd fellow, but I must say...
Help!
Well, Seymour, I made it. Despite your directions. Ah, Superintendent Chalmers, welcome. We're prepared for an unforgettable luncheon. Yeah. Oh, you gods! It was a ruin! What if I were to purchase fast food and disguise it as my own cooking? Delightfully devilish, Seymour. Seymour! I thought we were having steamed clams. No, I said steamed hams. That's what I call hamburgers. You call hamburgers steamed hams? Yes, it's a regional dialect. You know, these hamburgers are quite similar to the ones they have at Krusty Burger. No, patented Skinner burgers, old family recipe. Yes, we call them steamed hams, despite the fact they are obviously grilled. Excuse me for 1 second. Of course. Oh, well, that was wonderful. Good time has had my all. I'm full. Yes, I should be. Good Lord, what is happening in there? Aurora Borealis. Aurora Borealis. At this time of year, at this time of day, in this part of the country, localized entirely within your kitchen. Yes, that's it. No.
Seymour, the house is on fire!
No, Mother, it's just the northern lights. Well, Seymour, you are an odd fellow, but I must say...
Help!
D&D from A to Z, spells for you and spells for me. We will see what we will see today. Locals galore and monsters roar, nerds adore forevermore. Let's explore some ancient lore. Hey, hey. Hello, welcome. My name is Jordan Maywood and I am the Alphabetical DM. This show is one in which, for some reason, I will review, nonsensically, the spells, the monsters, the locations that exist within the Forgotten Realms. Why would I do this? I don't know, but it is going to be done. I will say on that note that it's been some weeks since I recorded episode... what episode is this? I don't know. Episode 5? 4? 6. One of those numbers. So, the potential for rust on my ability to do this does exist, I will say. You're probably witnessing it now. I don't really remember how I had this set up to do 100%. You know what I could do? You're not going to see this. I could look at my notes. Things to say at the top of the show. My name, alphabetical. Join me as I... See? You don't get this in shows that are edited. No. This is only off the dome. Join me as I literally... Gestures at head. Pour forth from my mind the meager role-playing game knowledge I have, such as it is. Thank you for that. I should say... Oh, I remember this part. On that note... that just about everything I say will be a opinion. So take that with a grain of salt, a healthy dose of salt. Salt not to the degree where it will harm you by any means, but enough where you realize arguing someone's opinion as wrong is foolish. And I don't want you to look the fool, because I, like Mr. T, pity the fool. Let's, without further ado, even though there's been too much ado, as far as I'm concerned, hop into the main subject like this. Nerd poker, yes. I probably don't need to if these are posting every week, but on the other hand, I'm going to anyways. Say that each week will go back and forth between episodes like this, in which I'll pick something, in this case a web series, instructional video, something from the internet that I on a regular basis seek out D&D related. Whereas alternating weeks, we'll pick a subject that's more of a one-off, like episode 1 was What is D&D? And then I did an episode after that where it was where I picked a class, for example. So it's going to vacillate between those two, is my plan, without... I said I wasn't going to do this, I recall now, in episode 1, that I was going to explain the episodes in episode 1 and not do so going forward. However, what has happened... that a professional would edit out, is the fact that I have not recorded, as I said, in a while, and I forgot I was going to do that. So, without further ado, God, I already said that. Oh, you know what? I forgot to turn my fan off as well. Okay. So, as I speak loudly of nerd poker, while I move away from the microphone to turn off a fan that is very loud, probably. Yep. Professional at work here. Yeah, that's the stuff. Anyways, again, these people who record their YouTube videos, they put them in a fancy software, they edit out all the little parts like that, or every time they stop talking, they'll edit out those little pauses. No, I trust you too much to do that. I am letting it fly. Nerd Poker, yes. Of the actual play podcasts I listened to, this was probably the first, if I do recall. I listened back in the Earwolf days, as you will see. They're almost catching up. They used to be on the Earwolf podcast network. Now they are independent from that, which is interesting. And this is one of only 2 podcasts, both D&D related, now that I think about it, where I have at one point or another gone back to the beginning and re-listened to episodes. I enjoy it so much. I also wanted to say that it probably is very strong in helping me to determine what I like in an actual play podcast. If you're unfamiliar with the term, there's podcasts where people sit around and talk about D&D. I enjoy those very much. And then there's podcasts in which people will play the game and record it and upload that, which is what this is. Like your Critical Roles, which, could you call that a podcast? I suppose you could. There's probably some argument. Is it a web series? There's many labels you can put on it, but that is neither here nor there. As I was saying, what determines for me what I need in a actual play podcast are the following things, and I'm going to number them using fingers. It can't be 100% role play 100% of the time. I think one of the reasons I couldn't really get into Critical Role, and it's probably not even that, it's just there's been other podcasts that I've experimented with a lot, and if they're never out of character and it's all just as if they're telling a story, it's often quite interesting and good, but that's not what I'm looking at. I think it's the fact that I'm listening while I'm doing other things. When I'm at work, when I'm driving, when I'm doing chores, whatever, that's when I'm listening, so my attention cannot be on it 100%. So I'm going to miss story things. So if they are not focused on that roleplay 100% of the time and can sort of ebb in and out of just shooting the poop. I forgot I was going to try to keep that explicit thing away. Shooting the poop. Then it's easier to sort of pay attention to, I do believe. The other thing I want is comedy. I've tried some serious ones, and ones where they have sort of the odd joke dropped throughout. However, in this one, as it is just about all kind of a group of comedians sitting around playing D&D, going to be a lot of laughs. This is of the D&D podcasts I listen to, of the podcast I listen to, among the funniest. A lot of that is the fact that Blaine Capatch, one of the players, one-time DM as well, actually, is just one of the funniest humans on the planet, period, full stop. I should turn it off. Where's the off button? No. He's got a sense of humor that really hits my funny bone very, very well. It's a little out there. They will, depending on your age, I guess, make references that you will have no idea what they are. For some reason, I get most of them. I think it's because I watch a lot of old stuff. That'll help if you're watching this. Anyways, back to what I like in a podcast. So we've got not 100% roleplay, 100% of the time, comedy. And the third thing, which I bet you some people don't like, but I like to hear the numbers. Like, I like to hear the description of the spell, or what someone rolled, or like I like to hear the behind the scenes of what's going on in terms of the actual game of Dungeons and Dragons, where some people ignore that or cut out the rolls. Like a lot of people actually take the rolls and the saying what spell they cast, reading the descriptions, that they cut all that stuff out, the mechanical stuff, I suppose you would call that, but I like it in there, which this podcast does. So I just wanted to give episode 1, in which we will talk of things from the internet that are D&D related, which this is, of course, to Nerd Poker, because it's among my favorite. Let's move on to... Oh yeah, let's just scope out a little bit. So there's Brian Posehn of Brian Posehn's Nerd Poker. That was the old emblem there. You could see, I think this is the new one. Yeah, that's pretty cool. A lot of fan art. Very, very cool. Oh, this is cool. So that's Brian there, and then that's one of his characters there. Oh yeah, I like that. I wonder if they did that for other ones. Very, very cool, whoever did that. All right, let's move on to spooky. Adult Blue Dracolich. This is a horrifying thing, whoever came up with it. They took a dragon, which is already horrifying, and then they combined it with the undead of a lich, which is one of the most popular, powerful, rather, things that exist in D&D, a lich, and they sort of jam them together into this horrifying thing. Challenge rating only 17. I almost feel like bump it up to 18 just for the fear factor alone. Like this frightful presence, for example. Look at this thing. Horrifying. Okay, so rating on this, and if you're unfamiliar, if you haven't watched any episodes, that's weird. Go back to episode 1. My scale is basically my desire to use it in my own campaign, which I believe I have, or maybe I haven't had the opportunity, but I've written it into my notes at some point. I know that for sure. So I'm going to go a solid 5. Yeah, it's a 5 out of 5. In other words, just for the reason that anytime you can take two already horrifying things and jam them together, you know, why the hell not? Wing attacks, classics. So, some of this stuff is pretty classic to dragons. Like, I don't necessarily see the undead stuff. Yeah, lightning breath, that's always cool. You know what, this gives me the idea too of, in your campaign, take random other monsters and jam them together. So you're gonna go, let's go off the top of my head, a kobold and a hill giant. A giant kobold? That's insane. Who's dumb and eats a lot? God damn it. Yeah, okay, so here's the one we were just looking at, but this is sort of what I picture a little more. Almost like from Game of Thrones. That one was a little Dracolich, wasn't he? When the dragon, spoiler, when there was a sort of an undead dragon-y type. Yeah, huh. Interesting. Okay, let's move on to spell. Animal friendship. We're really taking a turn here from the horrifyingness of a Dracolich to this animal friendship. Oh, nice. The spell lets you convince a beast that you mean it no harm. Choose a beast that you can see within range. It must see and hear you. Intelligence 4 or higher. Okay, so there's first level. Okay, yeah. So I would say you can cast it at higher levels. So again, rating of this spell, I'm gonna go 2. I don't like it that much for a couple of reasons. When it works, it's fine. Your player, definitely your character, is not going to know the intelligence of the beasts that you are meeting, most likely. So for that reason, I would say if you are the DM and your player casts this spell on something with a level 3 intelligence, and then your player burns that spell, I would be a little upset. So maybe say it doesn't burn the spell, first and foremost. Secondly, why do you need that? Why does the intelligence thing have to be there? Yeah, you know what? I'm bumping it down to a 1.1. Take that, animal friendship. Also, the higher level is just more. It would be nice if more targets. It would be nice if maybe higher level, not only more, but maybe the intelligence goes down to 3, and then at the next higher level it goes down to 2. just a thought there. And then beast, yeah, it makes sense, that part. I was going to say maybe it would be nice if you could do it on things other than beasts, which is a group of monsters, a phylum almost, since we're talking animals. Yeah, so 1.1 for animal friendship. Not my favorite. But this, on the other hand, animals being friends with one another? That's, come on. What's the cutest one here? What is that? Well, that one, it's fish. This is insane, whatever this is. Yeah, it's insane, and yet I love it. Let's move on to...
You have arrived at your destination.
My destination of Abbey of the Just Hammer. Okay. The name I like. The Abbey of the Just Hammer was an abbey in Hasseldale in the Dalelands. Lots of Dales there. Dedicated to Tyr, it was positioned close to the river Ashaba. Ashaba, another cool name. The abbey's focus was upon the justice elements of Tyr. Oh yeah, so Tyr was like a big justice god. Let's have a look at Tyr specifically, because I think we may have used him in the scenario coming up. Good deity of law and justice, part of the triad, punishment of wrongdoers. Okay, yeah, pretty bad looking dude as well. As far as image, I guess it's somewhere in this area. Yeah, we got a bog, hills. Okay, so likelihood of using this. I know we've had quite a few abbeys in the row. I can't remember if this is the last one or not. Of the abbeys, it gets a 3.7. Just in general, my likelihood of using this will go down to a 3. Yeah, it's right in the middle. I have no desire one way or another. If I needed a religious connection to Tyr through this, potentially I would use it. Why not? Moving on to... Scenario. If you are unfamiliar with the scenario portion of the program, what you should know is that I take the 3 things that I have rated and jam them into whatever weird scenario that I can figure out. These are things you can use maybe in your backstory, in your campaign, plot hooks. They're really just the things for imagination. Anyways, so I've called this one Moooove, Dracolich, Get Out the Way. The Abbey of the Just Hammer, aforementioned. Well, actually, I don't need to say that because a lot of this will be aforementioned. The Abbey of the Just Hammer offers free legal advice. Justice. So we're better to turn for a farmer who is accusing a wizard of casting animal friendship on one of his prize-winning cows. Jeez, would that work? What's, you know what? We'll look... Cow 5e. The possibility exists that a cow... Oh, you know what I should do? Is... Oh, I don't have it here. Would the spell even work? We'll check. D Beyond. I'm pretty sure I've seen cow in there. D&D Beyond. Because it may very well not. Cow. Volo's Guide to Monsters. Horrific. Intelligence, too. It wouldn't have worked. So he cast it at a higher level because he was using the homebrew that I mentioned. It's accusing a wizard of casting animal friendship on one of his prize-winning cows, only to have said cow follow the wizard to both of their deaths, trying to stop an adult blue Dracolich. Insane. Will you represent the wizard's family who does not want to lose what little gold this clearly befuddled wizard left them? Or perhaps you are on the side of a farmer who really would just prefer his cow back. After all, its body was never found. Yeah, so leaving it up for potentially the Dracolich having a cow familiar... things of that nature. The mission is to rescue the cow from a Dracolich, which is a sentence I very much enjoy. And here are images of a zombie cow. Just if you want to go down that road, and I hope you do. Moving on. To viewer. Question. Viewer in quotes as episode 10. Once that drops, I will be pulling questions, I hope, from below in the comments. So feel free to throw questions down there of any variety, really, but ones like this are good. Something not rules. Like if it's just a question about a rule, I could give you, where to find it, but that's not very exciting. If it's a question about how I might homebrew a rule, maybe that's a little different. If it's a question to help break a story, those are ones I like. So let's, as I was saying, up until that happens, I've been pulling questions from various D&D groups on Facebook, because a lot of resources there, a lot of people asking questions. You could spend hours, and sometimes I do, just going through, looking for interesting questions and trying to help people out with hopefully interesting, thought-provoking, and sometimes humorous answers is my desire. So this question from a Facebook person is, I have a PC who is good aligned necromancer, which right there, I like things against type like that, and I like the DM who would allow that sort of thing. I got tired of having everyone they meet react in fear to seeing the zombies who travel with him. Necromancer, gonna have some zombies with him. So I need more, assuming he already has some, reasons that NPCs consider it normal. I remember in the post, so DM thought he took the easy route by deciding not to have everyone who sees the zombies freak out. Which, if anything, I would say he's sort of opened his mind, opened up the story to potentially cooler things than just fear. Fear from townsfolk, running townsfolk. It's going to get bland after a while. You need to jazz it up, and I think I had an idea. First off, I said easier is not necessarily bad. Good rule in DMing, and hey, life. Hey. And after reading your post, feels like you are really fleshing out this idea in a cool way. Adding mechanics for the zombies, like making them look presentable, opens up some cool potential storylines. There you go. Fix that. For no reason. Storylines as well, like a dog show but for zombies. Yes, so my thought here, I do recall this, I responded to this quite a while ago, was that he is not the only good aligned necromancer who has trailing him along a zombie or zombies, and it's probably necromancers with spell components and such are probably a little more on the wealthy side, certainly compared to peasants. So they maybe are going to start treating these zombies as not jewelry, but accoutrement. Wow, that's a French sounding word. Like how a rich a Paris Hilton type carries around her little dog in a bag, maybe something develops where these zombies are started to be treated as that sort of thing, and you want the best looking one, the one that maybe looks the least dead too, and maybe that's why people don't freak out as much about these zombies compared to the regular ones that sort of roam and eat your brains. That is my thought, folks. We did it. And that means
It's done!
Done, yes, thank you, Jean-Claude Van Damme. Another episode down. Potentially, in fact, I think I will record another one immediately after. Don't tell anyone. See? A professional who does this would not give away that sort of thing, but I'm not professional. What I am is someone who doesn't like asking for likes and subscribers and things of that nature. So instead, I bribe for them in the form of this lovely organization here. What I have agreed to do in past episodes, and this one is no exception as I am recording them all at once before I release the first 10, is for every For every 100 subscribers, I will personally donate $10 to this organization that helps those with mental health issues and has a focus on gaming as well. So combine them both. Me having my issues, let's say, with mental health issues in the past, combined with talking of D&D, it's a perfect fit. Perfect fit. So, if that time ever comes where this channel, God forbid, becomes a thing, popular, makes money on this thing called YouTube, I will also be donating half of all of those funds to the organization. So basically what I'm saying, if you don't take the time to click a few buttons, you're a non-D&D style monster, right? Oh god. Didn't I have a button? I guess I didn't. I should, but I don't. Okay, I thought I had another button after this, but I suppose I don't. Which means the only thing I have to say is the final thing that I say at the end of every one of these episodes, and for that matter... Oh shit. Did I not record this whole thing? I think so. Well, we'll see if I can download it off Twitch. Oh boy, that'll be bad if that happens. I will not be a happy camper. But doesn't mean I still can't say it's nice to be nice to the nice. Ha. Well, I think I may have